we go home, we start planning the next season. We have a good idea of what's coming, and then obviously what we're looking for.
But you didn't spend an absolute fortune.
No, we've bought Silver Sword cost 10 grand, Ascot's Captain cost 18 grand, Tail Gunner Joe 30 grand, and this lad 65 grand. So one horse has earned more than all of that put together, really. Yeah. So yeah, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but you have to have a good team of brains behind you, which I've got.
This horse, what are your expectations tonight off the back of, I guess, you a pleasing last?
I'll be
disappointed.
disappointed.
Morning and welcome to Racing Across America Weekday edition. I'm Seth Merrow on this Friday morning. We're going to take a look at some of the Derby preps that have run and are coming up in January. And I was kind of curious, so I looked up how productive January prep races are. And it's a little bit interesting. It's kind of a mixed bag, but also a little bit later on, we'll give an update on promos and events coming up here at Capital OTB. What you can look forward to as far as here on the network this afternoon. So all of that coming up again on this Friday edition of Weekday Racing Across America. All right, again, there are some preps in January, and I think we have a list here of the preps that are coming up. Points preps in January. A couple have already been run. Last weekend, the Jerome and the Smarty Jones, but we have the Lecomte, the UA 2000 Guineas, the Holy Bull Southwest, and the Withers coming up. You can see the points that are awarded. The early ones, Jerome and Smarty Jones, 10 points to the winner, and it kicks up to the 20 points. And as the season goes along, there are 50-point races as far as the winner, and then you have a round of 100-point races as well. But you can wind up with some points to move forward from in January. And let's take a look here at the results from last weekend. There were a couple of, again, Derby preps. First up, we have a look at the Jerome, and we will see My World win. When I break it down into, again, having looked at recent results of the Jerome, validates that I'm not sure if we can hang too much on this. My World is good. The number 3 horse is going to wind up getting by and winning by a couple of lengths. Balboa, who went off as the short-priced favorite, couldn't hold that one off. Trainer Brittany Russell for Balboa, the 4 horse again, who was favored, thought maybe a little more time between races was needed. Thought the race just prior maybe took a little bit more out of the horse than they expected, and so she felt there were some reasons that the favorite wound up second in here. The winner, My World, Brad Cox runner, does get the 10 Derby points. Potentially looks forward to the $200,000 Withers on January 31st. As we saw, that's another January prep race. Or I would think more likely will be the Gotham at the end of February, the mile. And again, it seemed like they liked some spacing because this one was coming out of the Nashua, and intentionally they had skipped the Remsen to get here because they like the spacing. So I would expect, given that they like that spacing, I would think they will take a look more at the Gotham at the end of February. But again, we'll take a look in a minute at how productive or not the Gotham has been, I just went back to 3 years just to get an idea in recent years. So there's a look at the Gotham. And again, we do have some Dubai racing. I have my eyes on Maydan. Still a couple minutes from post. We'll get you to that when they head to the post. Wanted to also look as, again, we had another prep last weekend. That was the Smarty Jones down at Oaklawn. It was strategic risk getting it done for Mark Cassie. This one is a little more interesting as far as, again, I'll break down how productive these races have been. The Smarty Jones a little more interesting maybe than the Jerome. So strategic risk being from, potent connections, Mark Cassie and Oxley. Javier Castellano was on board this day. Silent Tactic second. Baytown Dreamer runs third. But this was a good way to start off the 3-year-old season. Chart margin there over 4 lengths. So I think Strategic Risk is certainly interesting moving forward. And again, that Smarty Jones has been a little bit interesting in and of itself. We'll hit on that in a moment. But just before we head to that Dubai race, I also wanted to show one more last weekend from Oaklawn. The Renaissance was sprinters. And it was number 6, Obliteration, at a short price, getting it done. And between the 2 3-year-olds, I kind of thought Obliteration was maybe a little more impressive, albeit it was a sprint distance. So a little more questionable maybe. But it sounds like they may be heading to the Saudi Derby with this one, trying to stretch out and see what they have. Saudi Derby's going to offer some Derby points as well, but Obliteration in, you know, again, an undercard stake that wasn't a Derby points race looked pretty good for Steve Asmussen. I said last weekend we looked at this on Sunday, and I said, Asmussen's been so good with sprinters over the past few years, but you have a good 3-year-old, you're always thinking, but if you have a good 3-year-old sprinter, I said, they're typically on the big days, there are the nice sprint stakes, the Woody Stevens and those kind of races that are, to me, prestigious in their own right. And so if you had a nice 3-year-old sprinter, I could see staying short. But it looks like, again, they may be looking at the Saudi Derby to at least stretch out and give it a try. And I can kind of see it. But as I say, between the two, Strategic Risk and Obliteration, I was a little more impressed maybe with Obliteration. But there was a look at some of the races from last weekend. Again, we'll break down how productive these January preps are. But in the meantime, they are loading in at Dubai. So we'll send you out there. We'll take a look at that Dubai race. Come back more for Weekday Racing Across America. Stay tuned.
This, but you'll have been pleased by those comments, I'd have thought. Pat Comerford with Gun Carriage. Dylan Cunha said he'd be disappointed if the horse gets beat here.
Oh, geez, I'm not that confident, but it's great to hear the trainers and the connections are full of confidence that Gun Carriage can get the job done here. He put the writing on the wall last time out, 3 deep, no cover. Went up against, I mean, take Zandvoort out of the race. He went up against a horse of the calibre of Royal Favour, who might have been a run short heading into his first up run, but it was 3 deep the trip. Royal Favour got all the favours in the run and was able to beat him fair and square down to the line. So Nayar just getting a bit fractious here in the outside stall. Military Artist comes in. He's 20-1 overseas on his last couple of runs with at the weights and measures. He could be right in this as well from a good gate. Moonblade coming forward. White cap on for Military Artist. Take note there. As Lasso Dude loads away into 16. We're set for the wee one. Ready. And away now. Destructive was slow, Force and Valor. Grey Boss was a little tardy out with Street Mood as well. Arigato Gozaimasu shows good speed early with Apotheosis. Then came deeper out Military Artist getting on the forward move. On the march out wider also Nayar from Zandvoort, who's going to have to find a spot in behind the speed at the moment. Spy Kingdom was next. A length or two back to Lasso Dude, who's on the wide train. Peeling out 4 wide with Nayar dropping back. Gun Carriage has got plenty of room the inside midfield. 3.5 lengths back to Furioso from next to him running there, the former Russian Le Mans Edelweiss. Joined in company there by Moonblade. Then came Akakis, Force and Valor, Destructive and Grey Boss, and Street Mood is a long last. Arigato Gozaimasu's run them along here, 14.01, 10.78, got a quick split there, 11.15, hasn't backed it off here, has Pinero up front, 1.5 lengths to Apotheosis. Then came Spy Kingdom in behind them, next was Military Artist and Zandvoort starting to present out deeper and coming on strongly. Then came Lasso Dude, Nayar, Gun Carriage plugging away the inside, has work to do, Grey Boss next. Then came Destructive from Moonblade, who's best of the rest. It's Zandvoort coming into the straight here, a big leader at the moment. A length or two in front of Lasso Dude, who's presenting up the rail, and Lasso Dude's coming on with a big run. Here's Force and Valor out, deeper out Destructive from Spy Kingdom. Arigato Gozaimasu drop away, no Gun Carriage. Up in front, Lasso Dude getting tied. Here's Force and Valor. Force and Valor coming up to the outside of Lasso Dude, going on past, and Force and Valor a tough win. Covered in dirt, chewed it the whole way, didn't matter. 1 length and 3/4 to Lasso Dude. Zandvoort third over. Fourth across in the run there was Destructive. He's run a good race as well. Then came Le Mans Edelweiss from Spike.
Nice grinding victory for Force and Valor there at Meydan in Dubai. All right, as noted, we can put up again that graphic of the prep races in January, just to give you a little reminder. And I went back and I looked at the last 3 winners because to me, a January prep race, I was kind of curious, how productive are they? Because if you have a big 2-year-old, normally, you know, you're not going to come back. You're going to give the horse a little time off, and you typically will come back, the earliest maybe February, you would think. And then, you know, these days, horses may still be just have broken their maiden at the end of last year and hit an allowance race early in the year, and then go into stakes company. So again, I wanted to go back and see how productive. And it's kind of it was interesting. It was a little bit of a mixed bag. And I started with the Jerome, and the last 3 years of the Jerome, and again, that was won this year by My World, but going back, Cyclone State won it in 2025, and after the Jerome ran 9th in the Saudi Derby and hasn't raced since. Drum roll, please, 2024. After the win in the Jerome was off until September and never ran in another stakes race. So as I say, it's a little bit. Lugan Knight won in 2023, had 15 starts after the Jerome, and the lone win was in a claimer. So the Jerome has not, at least in recent years, been especially productive. On the other hand, the Smarty Jones, again, run last weekend and won by strategic risk. Coal Battle, 2025 winner, subsequently went on to win the Rebel, 3rd in the Arkansas Derby. He was 11th in the Kentucky Derby, but then 3rd in the Met Win, 2nd in the Indiana Derby. So there's a little something there. Catching Freedom won the Smarty Jones in 2024. 3rd in the Risen Star, won the Louisiana Derby. 4th in the Kentucky Derby, 3rd in the Preakness. So again, a little talent there, certainly. Victory Formation won the Smarty Jones 2023. After that was 9th, 3rd, 7th, and 3 subsequent races, all starts, but nothing after that. So a little bit of a mixed bag, but it seems like the Smarty Jones has the potential to be productive. Again, as compared to what we saw the last 3 runners that came out of the Jerome. The LeCompte, Disco Time won in 2025. After that race was off till September, 2 for 2 since, however, and won the St. Louis Derby and the Dwyer. So was kind of productive, you know, again, laid off most of the year, but came back with a couple of victories in stakes races. Track Phantom for Steve Asmussen won in 2024, then was 2nd in the Risen Star next out, 4th in the Louisiana Derby, 11th in the Kentucky Derby. Since that Kentucky Derby start, 9 starts, a win, a 2nd, and a 3rd, and the win was in Allowance Company. So mixed bag there for a Track Phantom. Instant Coffee, after the win in the LeCompte in 2023, 6th in the Louisiana Derby. Then he was off until February of next year, and at that point went with 10 starts, a win, no seconds, and a couple of 3rds, and the win was in Allowance Company. So again, a little bit of a mixed bag there as well. Holy Bull has been a little bit interesting. Burnham Square won last year, then 4th in the Fountain of Youth, won the Bluegrass, 6th in the Kentucky Derby, 2nd in the Matt Win, 5th in the Haskell, 2nd in the Louisiana Derby. So again, came out of this, the Holy Bull, and 6th in the Derby, but did win the Bluegrass, so some talent there. Hades won in 2024, subsequent to the win in the Holy Bull, 12 starts, a win, 3 seconds, and a couple of 3rds. The win was in Allowance Company. Did hit the board in 3 stakes, so again, mixed bag there. Rocket Can for Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado won in 2023, followed up with a 2nd in the Fountain of Youth, 4th in the Arkansas Derby, 9th in the Kentucky Derby. Subsequent to that, 8 starts, couple of wins, couple of seconds. One of the wins was in a grade 3. So again, a little bit of a mixed bag. I will go back. Mostly I was looking at the last 3 winners, but in the Holy Bull, got to go back to 2022. The winner was Guido Barrio, who went on to win the Florida Derby, subsequently 16th in the Kentucky Derby, but has had a nice career since then, including the Breeders' Cup Classic and the Pegasus. So the Holy Bull's been a little bit productive, certainly. The Southwest, now here's the one that makes these January preps interesting. Again, just going back the last 3 years. But in the Southwest, last year, Speed King won, subsequently 10th in the Rebel. After that, 4 starts with a win, no seconds, no 3rds, and the win was Allowance Company, so that doesn't jump off the page. But 2 years ago, winner of the Southwest, Mystic Dan. And I will note, Mystic Dan was also 5th in the Smarty Jones in his prior start. So he kind of flatters the Smarty Jones as well. But Mystic Dan came out of the Southwest win to run 3rd in the third in the Arkansas Derby, and of course won the Kentucky Derby, 2nd in the Preakness, 8th in the Belmont. After that, he had a couple of wins and 7 starts, and they were in graded stakes races. So Mystic Dan says that you can come out of a January prep and win the Kentucky Derby. It happened 2 years ago. 2023 winner of the Southwest was Arabian Night. After the Southwest win, he was off until trying the Haskell in July, ran 3rd. Then he won the Pacific Classic, 4th in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Ended his career later on, 6 starts past the San Diego handicap. He ended his career with 6 starts, actually the entire career. Ended the career with 6 starts, 3 wins, no seconds, and a 3rd. So there was some talent there, but again, missed the Triple Crown Trail. But the notable, obviously, is Mystic Dan coming out of the Southwest, and a 5th in the Smarty Jones to kind of flatter the Oaklawn Trail. And finally, the Withers, going back to the last 3 years. Captain Cook won last year, 4th in the Wood, and after the Wood had 4 starts, no wins, but a couple of seconds, a couple of 3rds, and those were in stakes races. So a little bit of talent there. 2024 was Uncle Heavy. Subsequent to the win in the Withers, 5th in the Wood, 6th in the Preakness. After that, 4 starts with only a 3rd place finish to show for it. And in 2023, Hit Show won the Withers, then 2nd in the Wood, 5th in the Kentucky Derby, 4th in the Belmont. Subsequent to the Belmont, had 16 starts with 8 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. 7 of the 8 wins were in stakes, including the Dubai World Cup last year. So the Withers is a little bit interesting at the end of the month. As I say, the Jerome, just looking again at the last 3 years, has not been particularly productive. But some of the other races, horses are coming out. I was interested to see, again, when you get an early start in January, how productive is it? And it looks like it can be, certainly, when you look at Mystic Dan and his result, having won the Kentucky Derby. So he's got a Derby win coming out of a January prep race. So there's a little look at the preps coming up in January, and how they've done the last few years. As I say, it's a mixed bag, but part of the mixed bag is it can produce a Kentucky Derby winner. We'll see how this January pans out, as we will talk about some of those in preview and review over the next few months, actually, as far as prep races overall, but over the next few weeks as far as the January prep races. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll give you a little news and notes, and then we'll update you on some of the events and promos coming up here at Capital OTB. Stay tuned.
The championship season is on at Gulfstream Park. Great horse racing action Thursday through Sunday. Come out and enjoy the world's best horses, trainers, and jockeys as they compete over the Hallandale Beach Oval all season long. Take your experience up a notch and join us in 10 Palms Restaurant with unbeatable track views, outstanding dining, and convenient wagering options. For reservations, event schedules, tickets, and more, head to GulfstreamPark.com.
Think horse racing is too complicated? Think again.
And they're off.
Every pro was a newbie once. Meet DRF Newbie, the mobile tool loaded with daily racing form data and the power of DRF AI. Get the insights you need fast so you can play smarter and feel more confident. DRF Newbie, horse racing made simple. Try it free today. Visit newbie.drf.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back. Again, as promised, some news and notes. We will applaud a local, a friend of ours, Skip Dickstein, picks up a Media Eclipse Award. They were announced yesterday. Skip, a friend of ours, and if you're up at the track, you see him all the time, bouncing around. He's been a racetrack photographer and more, but during the racing season, up at the track, you see him all the time and bounces around to a lot of the big events as well. Took a picture for the Albany Times-Union that also was in the Blood Horse. Great picture of Irad Ortiz being unseated in last year's Jockey Club Gold Cup and is kind of holding on between a couple of horses. It was a picture that when it came out, you were kind of like, oh, that's crazy, and winds up winning the Eclipse Award. So again, congratulations to Skip on picking up the award. And again, all the Media Eclipse Awards were announced yesterday. And then what the actual feature commentary writing, Jay Privman picked it up for a piece on D. Wayne Lucas, and Privman had retired from the racing form, but because of his relationship with Wayne Lucas, when Wayne Lucas passed away, Privman called back into action to do a piece and winds up winning an Eclipse for it. Nice job there. News Enterprise Media Eclipse goes to Natalie Voss for a four-part series titled Doom Scroll, Thoroughbreds, Bail Pens, and Horse Traders. Live television programming. Fox Sports wins for its broadcast of the Belmont Stakes. Feature television, Fox Sports again, the winner for a piece done on the family of Bill Mott, particularly his son Riley, whose daughter unfortunately had passed away a couple of years ago, I think, at age 2 from cancer. So it was a feature story on Fox Sports. Multimedia. Freakonomics Radio wins for a piece entitled The Horse Is Us Inside the Horse Industrial Complex. So again, there were your Media Eclipse winners, but the notable, again, our friend Skip Dickstein getting it done in the photography category. All right, here's your day ahead at Capital OTB. Day ahead and more, actually. Today, the Bounty Bet is available. It is the late pick 5 at Aqueduct. Just play the late pick 5 at Aqueduct with your Capital OTB bet dollars that will get added to whatever you win in the pick 5. If you're the lone winner, if there are multiple winners, you split a consolation. But again, you're only playing against other people playing via Capital OTB Bet. That's again today here at the clubhouse, or today via Capital OTB Bet. But tomorrow there is a Fan Appreciation Day at Uncle Sam Lane's. If you're a patron out in that direction in Troy, stop by so we can say thank you to you. Always fun. Fan Appreciation Days, food, vouchers, contest that allows you to win a little extra money. So again, stop by tomorrow, Saturday, Uncle Sam Lane's in Troy for Fan Appreciation Day. And stop by the Racebook tomorrow if you want to take your shot at $1,100. King of the Hill contest continues. I say it all the time. It's fun. It's very doable, very havable. First couple, you pick a horse in a series of races. In the first couple of races, you have to have your horse in the top 4. Next couple of races, the top 3. Next race is top 2. The last race of the sequence, you have to have the winner. But it's very doable. And I say it's doable. It hasn't been done now in a few weeks. But 3 or 4 weeks ago, I always go out and put together a little, kind of, I can't officially enter the contest, so an unofficial entry. And I would have won, 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it's doable. Come on down, take your shot. If you do it successfully, you might walk away with $1,100. That's tomorrow here at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. There is a Pick 6 carryover today at Santa Anita. Pick 6 carryover at Santa Anita, $12,000. If you're a Pick 6 player, you can jump in on that. And today on the network, again, as you saw, we had Dubai. We'll get back to Dubai in just a second when I wrap things up here. A little bit later on, New York is back in action. Aqueduct on this Friday. The 2 Florida tracks, Gulfstream and Tampa, will be in action today as well. Fairgrounds, Santa Anita, a little bit later on, Meadowlands, Mohawk Park, Western Fair, all today on Capital OTB TV, and obviously available through Capital OTB Bet. All right, Seth Merrow wrapping it up for a Friday edition, a weekday edition of Racing Across America. We will, of course, be back for the regular weekend edition tomorrow at 10 a.m. Look forward to seeing you then. You can also see some pre-taped thoughts on the afternoon coming up a little bit later on as we go through the afternoon, so stay tuned for that as well. Otherwise, good luck, have fun. We'll see you for the weekend edition of Racing Across America tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'd like to thank Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship of this program and some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB. Gulfstream Park's championship meet features great racing now through Florida Derby weekend at the end of March.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.